Hey everyone, we're back with the Great Ace Attorney. We're finally onto the trial, part 1. Presumably there's a part 2, maybe even a part 3. There's gotta be this is definitely a 2-day trial though. Like, we haven't investigated the machine, come on. Unless we don't investigate the machine at all, we just make stuff up on the fly. What's today? 23rd? Yeah. Can't believe it's been 6 months since I was last allowed to work in court. Now here I am back at the Old Bailey. Hello. Mr. Naruhodo. Good morning, Professor Harebrain. I wonder, is our assistant gonna be Iris this case, or? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. The atmospheric pressure in here is off the charts. Never felt anything like it. It's crushing me. I'd love it if the assistant was Herlock though. Feel it every time I hear that gravity. Well, this is Reddit's highest court. What are you telling me? It's fitted with some kind of device that can actually control air pressure? I think it's probably all in the mind. Yes, well, you won't let me down, will you, Mr. Naruhodo? I'm counting on you in today's trial to save my life. To save the secret of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine from being made public. Yes, I understand. I know what I have to do. I have to establish that the explosion 2 days ago was nothing more than an unfortunate accident. Well, there's nothing to worry about, really. Justice will prevail. My commiserations, Mr. Naruhodo. You appear to have been lumbered with the most tiresome case here. Fancies? Oh, Mr. Sholmes! I didn't expect to see you here. That was very mean, you know, leaving me alone at home with Hurley. Took me at least an hour to wake him. Is it? Are you? Herlock Sholmes! He hates him too. He's a Natsume in disguise. Indeed, sir. I am he. Herlock Sholmes. Oh, I've heard all about your exploits, even also living in Germany. Yeah. Grant's magazine is on sale in Germany too. This month's installment was sublime! Your deduction in The Adventure of Silver Blaze was wonderful. Ah yes, a memorable case indeed. Concerning the snake case, if you recall. Oh, that's the speckled band. Oh, that's Sawyer with Kazuma! Foreshadowing! Thank you for coming. We appreciate your support. I'm sorry to disappoint you, my dear fellow, but I'm afraid I can't stay. He's gonna go put the mask on. He's pretending to be Kazuma. I've urgent business at Madame Taswell's. Oh, you mean your waxwork job? No, the waxwork abduction, of course. Madame has engaged my services. You're trying to get to the bottom of that ransom note, are you? The week's wages depend on it. That's just the safe return of the waxwork, naturally. As such, I tend to give it my undivided attention. Well, never mind then. Fan. Of course, with my skills of observation and reasoning, resolving the matter will be as easy as proverbial pie. I shall return forthwith. For until I solve the case, I shall have no money to afford a pie of any description. He's a gumshoe. And you must absolutely give it your full attention, really. Quite, Iris, quite. Life is riddled with irony, you know. Whenever I give something my full attention, I have a quite insatiable desire for a pie. One of the universe's intractable mysteries, I'd say. Oh yes, quite definitely, absolutely. I totally understand, yep. Someone a little starstruck? I wish you the very best of luck, Professor Harebrain. Why, thank you. Before I depart, Mr. No, a word in your ear, you please? What's this about? He's about to say something serious. As you have a remarkably little grounding in science, I feel I ought to inform you. As compelling as the super high voltage instantaneous kinesis hypothesis may be, a practical implementation, such as was attempted by the professor at the Great Exhibition, is quite impossible. What? But the professor said the demonstration was a success. Yes, it would appear that he fervently believes it was. I've read Professor Bunnybrain's paper about it too, you know. I have to say, I'm sure it can't be done. It can barely be done theoretically, let alone practically. It's completely barking up the wrong tree? How can an experiment that has no possibility of succeeding in fact succeed? That's contradictory. And it's that contradiction that will be at the heart of this trial, I've no doubt. What's that supposed to mean? There's some wacky waxwork nonsense going on. Must hurry along. Wish you the best of luck, my dear fellow. See you later, early. Okay, we're stuck with Iris, which, you know, she's not a bad assistant. Hey, looks like you're on your own today. Oh, but shut up, you can do it. Never mind, we're being ditched. Oh, what about you, Iris? No, I'm afraid I can't help. I have something I need to do. Let's see. It's gonna be a big surprise for you when you find out what it is. That sounds ominous. Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court is about to be in session. Make your way into the courtroom. Have we ever? Has there been an ace attorney case without a partner before? Like usually, you know, when like Maya or someone is kidnapped, you know, Pearl steps in. We're on our way. And actually Pearl just shows up anyway, you know, 100 years in the past. Experiment that the laws of science say can't possibly succeed. Scientists are convinced that it did. That's the riddle you have to unlock here, Yunosuke. That's the key to this case. Yep. 3rd, 9, 10. Gonna look at the jurors. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We're sitting today for the public trial of Professor Albert Harebrained. Now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is is ready. The defense is ready, my lord. 6 months out of practice. What's more? We have a ghost without Susato-san today. Is this just my imagination? Does the air in here feel even more oppressive than usual? So, say recollect the victim of this case all too well, Mr. Odie Asman. Mr. Asman was a well-known financier. Financier? Right. Allows me the affront for his diverse criminal activities. Only a month ago that the man appeared in court prosecuted by you, Lord. The jury unanimously found him not guilty. As every member of the jury had been bribed by the... These powerful London criminals are prepared to go to extreme lengths to keep their freedom. 2 days ago, on 21st of October, Mr. Asman met his end. The work of the Reaper, was it? That is how your lordship would describe divine retribution. The fact remained that Mr. Asman's death was a direct result of the actions of the accused, Professor Harebrained. Very well then. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you've been selected at random to represent the will of the people. Are the 6 of you ready to fulfill your societal duty? Most gratified to have been selected to carry out this important civic duty, my lord. Why does he look like a real character? Why does she look like a real character? To have a man's fate in the palm of one's hand. Oh gosh, or golly, that shivers down my spine. They're all like have actual character designs, what the heck? Science experiments, magic, conjuring tricks, courtroom trials are all nothing but performances. Oh, this guy's gonna be relevant. Any spurious scholar that defiles the reputation of science deserves to hang. Okay, here we go. Yeah, the lesson one we have most times around, and I should only one. That's it, isn't it? That's how you talk when you eat corn. Oh, this guy. Wasn't like it in my day. Wasn't like this at all. And he's gonna kill somebody. Poor corn girl. That's. Please, killer. Automo look like it again. As exhausted as ever, it seems. Now, as I'm sure you're all aware, the incident we're here to judge today tragically took place at the Great Exhibition shortly after its opening. Though the death toll could have been far worse. With the exception of the victim, no one was killed. Nevertheless, the dream of the science being exhibited rapidly turned into a nightmare for the spectator. A tragic turn of events. And as such, the eyes of all London, no, the whole world, will be on this trial. It's our duty to reach a swift and just conclusion, I feel. So, your opening statement, please, Lord Van Zeeks. At the heart of this incident is technology never before demonstrated anywhere in the world. One of science's latest developments, I take it. The government is keen to capitalize on the Great Exhibition to improve Britain's technological advantage. The technology being demonstrated by the accused was described as super high voltage instantaneous kinesis. Good lord! It's designed to disassemble human subjects using extremely high voltage electricity and beam them instantly to another location where they're subsequently reassembled. Is such a thing even within the realms of possibility? I don't believe it, that's for sure. Disassembling people with electricity? My goodness. How shocking. Ha! Whole idea is absurd. The hypothesis would never stand up to scrutiny. Sir, I believe you're a fellow of the Royal Society, are you not? An expert in your field? I am. My word on the matter can be considered final. Instantaneous kinesis is poppycock. This expert and Mr. Sholmes are in agreement. It's impossible. What is the prosecution's view on the matter? Prosecution would assert that the accused's instantaneous kinesis demonstration was a success. What? What rot? I mean, his body was on the other side of the thing. You know, it's nice he believes in his friend like that. Order! Order! The professor's hypothesis is currently under investigation by the British government. If it is deemed to have merit, a substantial research grant would be made available. He's helping his friend get the money! He's a nice guy! The accused made use of the invention, built on his new hypothesis, to take Mr. Asmund's life, in order to be the sole benefactor of the grant. But this disastrous demonstration is no accident. It was carefully designed from the outset to end the life of the victim. Thank you, Lord Ramsay. Prosecution's statement is clear. Do not bring forth witnesses to substantiate your claim. Gladly, my lord. You know what would be cool? If the defense got to make an opening statement, and like you could do anything you want, and it changed how much HP you started the trial with. So like if you made a good case, maybe you'd start with like 7 or something. I think that's a neat idea. Hey, Brandon Gregson, makes sense. Witnesses, state your names and occupations to the court. Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector, Scotland Yard's Homicide Division. On duty at the demonstration on the day in question, and in charge of the following investigation. Yeah? Albert Harebrain, scientist! You were born in England, but have been carrying out research in Germany in recent years. Correct? Yes, that's right. After graduating from university here in Britain, went to work in Germany, but an amazing discovery. Which is what brought me back. I had to demonstrate my incredible hypothesis at the Great Exhibition. What you demonstrated was incredible, alright. An incredible explosion. But the science was a success. The instantaneous kinesis worked. Everyone saw it. They must have done. It's a terrible accident, but the demonstration of my hypothesis was a success. Autopsy, well, at least a picture. That much is undeniable, as shown in the photograph taken by the forensic investigation team. This is taken inside the Crystal Tower, I take it? He looks kind of like the magician, doesn't he? The jury member? Centerpiece of the exhibition note. That's right, my lord. Seems the victim rammed straight into it. I wanted to go back to the jury. I want to look at him. Very well, submit the photograph as evidence. Taken after he's been beamed to the Crystal Tower. There's an apparent stab wound to the chest. The court heard the victim of the incident was Odie Asmund. Hold on, look at the photo. So that's probably a crossbow bolt, right? Probably. There have been a number of allegations made against the man, putting them aside for the time being. He's the man who financed the research for the experiment and the demonstration itself. Let's see. So to summarize the situation, the defendant is accused of taking the life of the man who funded his work. Would that be correct? Exactly. Wouldn't it be that the explosion was caused by some malfunction in the apparatus used for the demonstration? That's That's right! That must be it. My splendid machine. My poor splendid machine. Saw it yesterday, didn't you? Can't even examine the wreckage thanks to the Special Dispensations for Scientific Equipment Act. Yes, so you have no evidence. What? The wreckage? The wreckage? That being the case, how can the facts be established? How can it possibly be determined whether this is an accident or deliberate or malicious act? Extremely simply, my lord. I beg your pardon? Isn't that right? Yes? What? Sorry? Me? No, your neighbor. Yes, sir. It's murder, plain and simple. Anyone can state that with complete certainty. What? How can you possibly think that? Thank you, Inspector. Think we would better proceed to formal testimony. You'll explain to the court on what grounds you claim this experiment had been a front for murder. See you then. Corpse that went crashing through the crystal tower had a broken neck. I made a minor miscalculation on the angle of the beam projection, that's all. My mistake. The post-mortem examination revealed another injury. Fatal wound. There's a lesion in his chest where he's clearly been stabbed by something sharp right in the heart. The victim was killed before he went anywhere. That was the only one who could have done it. Extraordinary business. In addition to suffering a broken neck, the victim was stabbed in the heart. Information I'd really like to have heard someone other than the judge. Yeah. Coroner says death would have been all but instant from a wound like that. You could say, in fact, that the victim was killed twice by the accused. No, and no! That couldn't be further from the truth. I have here the experiment plan document that's submitted to the security team. Victim stowed himself inside something called the bird cage, ready to be beamed instantly. The second level of the crystal tower, about 25 yards away. The experiment did not go according to plan, however. As the machine was put into operation, there's a large explosion. The blast caused the beam transmitter to point higher than intended. Does the beam transmitter actually do something? Accordingly, the kinesis resulted in the birdcage materializing in mid-air. Furthermore, it subsequently fell, crashing through the glass of the crystal tower's large round window. My word! What assumes the victim's neck would be broken upon the impact of the tower, then? I'm so sorry! I didn't mean for this to happen! The machine was just too powerful! But honestly, really, I swear, it's just an accident! A terrible accident! The machine's so powerful, if you just give him more money, he'll be able to control it. Fortunately, that excuse can't save you. No, not considering the sharp murder weapon that pierced the victim's heart. Murder weapon? What are you saying? This is the autopsy report submitted by the coroner. Prosecution would like it entered into the court record. Request was granted, counsel. Autopsy report. Take a look at that. I'm so tired today. I've been house sitting, right? Like, I can't sleep at other people's houses. Like, I've been waking up like every hour or two being like, oh yeah, how long did I sleep? 10 hours? No? 2? Okay. And 2:20? Coroner's Courtney Sith. Wait. Haven't I seen that name before? Yeah, there's a character. Remember, I saw the music. YouTube recommended me the music for Dr. Scythe or Dr. Sith's theme. He's gonna show up later. That's foreshadowing. Hemorrhage of a wound to the chest that pierced the heart, inflicted by a sharp implement. Broken vertebrae, most likely resulting from an impact after a sudden fall from considerable height. His music better be really good, is all I'm saying. Pierced the heart and also a broken vertebrae. So, what, the body was pushed from higher up the crystal tower? What is it? So, like, from up here? The only other person on the stage with Mr. Aspen was that disgraceful excuse for a scientist. Really? By all accounts, it must have been him. Oh god, not already. I didn't think otherwise, really. Very well. Counsel for the defense, proceed with the cross-examination, please. Oh, yes, my lord. Need to focus here. It's been a while. Front for murder. The corpse that went crashing through the crystal tower had a broken neck. Okay. Minor miscalculation, that's all. Post-mortem revealed another injury, a fatal wound. The lesion in his chest that had clearly been stabbed by something sharp right in the heart. The victim was killed before he went anywhere. This fella's the only one who could have done it. I mean, we don't know the order that they happened in. He could have, right? He could have fallen first, but yes. I think we have to press something here. I don't see anything. Right in the heart. Let's not do the last one because then it takes just. Oh wait, we don't have an assistant.
Hold it!
I was kind of thinking, like, you know, Iris or someone would still show up by now, but really, it's just gonna be Naruto talking to himself. We knew nothing about this. Prosecution received the report only this morning. It's the first we knew of it as well. We only apologize for the impossibility of informing the defense. But Castigan insincere? Thanks a lot, Edgeworth. It's the nature of this sharp object. Among the accused's tools that were in use at the demonstration, one is of particular interest. This. Oh! That appeared to be some kind of screwdriver. Ah! There it is! My trusty little companion, Andrew! Andrew. Of course. Do you know each other already? He's one of my dear friends, like all my tools. Name them all, you know? We're one big, happy family. Andrew is my flatheaded screwdriver, of course. His brother, Michael, is a crosshead. Oh, is crosshead what you call those? He's like, you know, I only know them as Phillips. Here, your beloved Andrew has a red stain on his shank. Well, like, obviously, like, Phillips is like the brand, right? Or like, I actually don't know where the name Phillips comes from. Phillips screwdriver. We're looking this up. We're learning something today. Oh, of course, named after Henry F. Phillips. It's also just called a crosshead. It says on Wikipedia. Wait, hold on. Hold on. The credited inventor of the Phillips screw was in 1932? Ace Attorney! You messed up! That's a forgivable mistake. Probably, unless the screws are important. Blood beyond all reasonable doubt. No! Was that blood there yesterday? Like when Iris found it? That's not all. Long sharp-sighted this Andrew fellow is completely consistent with the victim's wounds. What? Order! Order! Court will enter this friend of the defendant as evidence. Traces of blood on the tip and it matches the shape of the victim's wound. One of Miss Professor Harebrain's tools, the murder weapon. Great. Just let's examine that. Like a secret button on here. Why is it A? See, that's unusually shaped handle before. Same screwdriver that was lodged in the grill. Could be important information, so should definitely make note of. Okay, okay, here we go, here we go. Let's examine the blood. This is blood. There has been no doubt. Problem looking at murder weapon. Okay, which line do we present it at? Was killed before he went anywhere. Well, no, that doesn't really change anything. But no, it would have still been in him. Hold on, let's just go over everything again. Hold on. Okay, I kind of see the logic here, but I don't really. I don't think this is the intended answer, but I'm going to present anyway. Yeah, okay, that's all. Let's try pressing that line.
Hold it!
What grounds do you have for saying that? Do you really need to ask? There are only 2 people in the public experimentation stage in front of the whole crowd. The victim, Mr. Odiasman, and the accused, Professor Hairbrain. No, for certain before the experiment, the victim was alive. Saw with my own eyes! Furthermore, following the explosion of Kinesis, nobody went anywhere near the body.
Great Scott!
Okay, here we go, here we go.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Professor Hairbrain, do you have some information that may be relevant here? Professor! Ah, sorry! Just calculating the optimal coefficient of psychological levels of everybody. The witness stand is the best place for that. Seems as though you might have something to say about Inspector Gregson's last remark. Yes! Yes, that's right. Of course! He just said that nobody else could have done it, didn't he? That's right. Who else could have stabbed the victim, eh? I don't know! But no way that I could possibly stab Mr. Asman, as you say. Eh? Explain, please, Professor. I mean, he was, you know, visible the whole time. Of course, this cold-hearted policeman may not be aware, I suppose. But humans are warm-blooded mammals with blood running continuously through their veins. I'd heard. Surely, you see, I punched something the size of Andrew into the man's chest. He'd have blood on him. The whole stage would have been a bloodbath. No, a blood swimming pool. Ah. Thousands of Londoners were watching me at the time. Yet not one of them claims to have seen a swimming pool of blood. Oh. No, of course not. You see? Not one. True. See anything like that? Well done, Professor. That's a great counter-argument. He's doing our job for us. Order! Order! Pray forgive the discourtesy if I savor a drop from my hallowed chalice to accompany my old friends a-deucing. A-deucing? Here's to you, Albert. Oh, you're too kind, Barrick. Really not a patch on you. Yeah, okay. No, you're not. No? You've neglected to mention one crucial possibility. I have? Particular situation, but you very little bleeding will result from a stab wound. Ah, of course. Inspector, in line in the court, please. Yes, sir. Where are they going with this? Very well. Amend your formal testimony now, Inspector Gregson. The weapon the victim was stabbed with must have been left in his body. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Objection.
You say that while the weapon remains in the body, there's very little bleeding. Is that unequivocal? Look, there's no blood on the experimentation stage, even though that's where the fellow was stabbed. Only explanation for that is if the screwdriver is still in his body, stopping any heavy bleeding. He doesn't really think things through. It's common medical knowledge, my learned friend, even on your side of the world. Yes, but about the screwdriver. Thing is, we actually saw it at the scene ourselves, on the experimentation stage. What? It was on the floor by the wreckage of the machine, poking through a metal grill. I went to pick it up, but the detective here stopped me. Isn't that right, Inspector Gregson? He's getting demoted. Ah, well, now you come to mention it, yes. Inspector, are we to understand you permitted the defense counsel to investigate? That you contravened the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act? He's getting suspended again. No, not at all. I wouldn't do that. Just let him look, nothing more. Very clear it wasn't a touch a thing. Yes, that's true. The screwdriver is in plain sight on the stage. It shouldn't have been, should it? What are you getting at? This tool had been in the victim's body when the victim had beamed away by the machine. But it shouldn't have still been on the stage. Ah! That's right. Should have been beamed across the crystal tower along with Mr. Asman. And been found still lodged in the victim's chest. Order! How do you explain this, Inspector? I don't... Looks as though everything that the victim had on his person moved with him when he was beamed. But the screwdriver was still in his chest when the instantaneous kinesis occurred. Obviously, that should have been beamed onto the destination as well. You... A strange situation. Even though people are saying this instantaneous kinesis is a scientific impossibility, we're still basing arguments on the assumption that it did actually take place. Alright, time to attend to the screws here. I like how it's calling out that this is all kind of weird. My lord, the prosecution is unable to explain this inconsistency in its argument. We can only conclude the testimony given in support cannot be relied upon. Lord Van Zeeks is stumped. Oh, Albert, don't disprove. No, my Albert. Albert, be quiet. Do you have something to say, witness? Yes, I knew it. Bears out. The equations hold. Mr. Naruhodo, don't worry. About what? Without delving into the details, there is no inconsistency. What? Even if Andrew had been lodged in Mr. Asman's chest, my trusty tool awarded and moved. Andrew remaining on the stage is consistent with my calculations. But oh, Albert, you idiot! That's how I feel too. Can I have a bottle, please? Oh, Tim, your illusions have been shattered. Clearly, we should hear the accuser's explanation. Or should I say, this brilliant scientist's explanation? The defense denies the motion. When I found an inconsistency in the prosecution's argument. Scientists. Very well. Defendant will testify again. Provide us with a scientific explanation as to why the inconsistency asserted by the defense fails to hold. The name of Apollo? I will, my lord. Why Apollo? What's he the Greek god of? Maybe he just likes Apollo Justice. Yeah, that's it. To be clear, I'm still at the stage of gathering data in my research. My hypothesis states, Kinesis cannot transport metal, though. Hence the metal weapon would have stayed put. In other words, the point just raised by Mr. Naruhodo isn't an inconsistency at all. Mr. Asman was the patron of my research. Without him, my work wouldn't have been possible. Now I have a duty to protect the incredible machine that we built together. So, like, what counts as metal exactly? Because when he said that, like, as someone who doesn't know science, don't look at me to science. My first thought was like, hey, there's iron in our blood. Would that just like take all of our blood away when we teleport, assuming it worked? So the test of your testimony, Professor, is that based upon this hypothesis, metal objects cannot be moved by this method of instantaneous kinesis. In other words, since the screwdriver is made of metal, even if it remained lodged in the victim's chest, its subsequent discovery on the stage, despite the victim being found elsewhere, is not an inconsistency. And therefore, well, wouldn't all the blood have teleported with it then? Or like any non-metal parts on it? Therefore, Professor Albert Harebrink could still have been the killer. My great hypothesis holds, you see? I want to make the cage used to contain this subject from wood for that very reason. Not addressing you, witness. Professor Harebrain? Yes? Whose side are you on here? I don't take sides, Mr. Naruhodo. No! My only interest lies in upholding my hypothesis. I'm a scientist, after all. Is he working for us or against us? Very hard to tell. Let's see how you cross-examine this testimony, my Nipponese friend. Yes, fire away, Mr. Naruhodo. Cross-examination. The inconsistency explained. To be clear, I'm still at the stage of gathering data in my research. Oh, okay. What do we press here? Wait. Does he have metal on him? Okay, no, this is wood. That's kind of metal. That looks like metal to me. Wait, just raised by Mr. Naruto isn't an inconsistency. Work wouldn't have been possible. Press that. Your hypothesis states it, so it is proven then. No, of course not. It's merely a hypothesis, but a good one, based on thousands of calculations. It's widely known that metals cannot be decomposed by electrolysis. Yes, of course. So I am right. My hypothesis is clearly correct. Don't ask me what electrolysis is. What is it about incriminating himself that makes this man so happy? The only reason that bird cage is made of wood, you see? Bird cage? Are we going into that? That's what I call the C. obtusa cage, which Mr. Asman was placed in. The jail cell in which the victim was detained does indeed seem to be made of timber of some sort. Thank you not to refer to it as an instrument of incarceration. Yep. In short, any weapon lodged in the victim where he is beamed away by instantaneous whatever Kinesis would have been left behind on the stage if it was made of metal, correct? Yes, that's it! Yes! It all fits perfectly with the mathematical model. The ultimate conclusion, then, is that the defendant alone had the opportunity to inflict this fatal injury on the victim. Did it not? Ah! Indeed, sir. Someone beam me out of this nightmare. Isn't it inconsistency at all? Go and press that. I want to hear more about Asman. How did you come to know him in the first place? Science! A year ago now, a small provincial science journal published this little paper, literally a little paper. Scientific journal? Good gracious, I should need new spectacles. They've branched into spectacles. It's relevant, it's gonna be the glasses. I'd have an extraordinary hypothesis and great promise. At the time, I had no money. I'd eat tiny little meals in a tiny little cafe, drink watered down water out of a tiny little glass. How do you water down water? Mr. Asman read the paper and came to visit me in my tiny little laboratory. I offered you money to help fund your work. Exactly! It's exactly what happened. Handle the theoretical side of things. Mr. Asman provided me with an engineer for the practical. The three of us produced that fantastic machine together. Machine that you brought to the great exhibition to demonstrate. We have to apply to the government for some sort of inspection to be allowed to exhibit, I think. I don't understand all that side of things. Mr. Asman took care of all of it. He is a wonderful man. Really, I owe him everything. Here is a duty to protect the machine.
Hold it!
I don't want to just present the photograph and I'll be like, oh, what are you talking about? You say you built the machine together. Does that mean you're involved in its construction? Yes! Well, not exactly. Not good with the practical side of machines myself. Physical construction was done by an engineer. Who's the engineer? Little remains of your creation now. Yeah. I realize that, but still. Someone were to gather all my broken parts, they could discover the secret of my hypothesis. Toiled over that machine for so long, put our hearts and souls into it. Have to protect our work. What's left of that machine must be kept safe. That's only fair. So what happened was an accident. The extent of the testimony. Okay, I don't want to present the wrong thing here. Wonder, what if his hypothesis is just fundamentally flawed? We're gonna game FAQs it. I don't trust that presenting the photograph is the right thing. I've been spurned by Ace Attorney too many times. What's this case called? Great Departed Soul. Great Departed. Trial. Oh, trial part 1 short. Press the second statement. Present the photo of the second statement. We already pressed this, right? I swear we did. You didn't update though.
Objection.
Okay, it works. Okay, I was right. Should have trusted myself. So that according to your hypothesis, nothing made of metal can be beamed by instantaneous kinesis using the machine you made. Is that correct? Yes, that's right. Spot on. Exactly correct. In that case, I'd like you to take a look at this photograph. Look at this photograph. I'd like you to pay attention to the victim's face. You can clearly see that Mr. Asman is wearing a pair of spectacles with a metal rim. What? Metal? No, metal. That's not metal. No. We've already established that the proposed murder weapon, the screwdriver, was found on the stage. However, if your hypothesis correctly predicted that outcome, it should have been predicted that the metal rimmed spectacles would be found in the same place. Ah! My hypothesis! My hypothesis! I just like yelling now. Professor Hairbrain, this isn't easy for me to say. Your hypothesis is clearly flawed. Ah! Order! 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 Council, what is the implication of this? If on the day in question, the alleged instantaneous kinesis never actually took place, it is entirely possible the victim was killed somewhere other than on the stage. And in that case, someone other than the defendant could have been the culprit. But my hypothesis! My hypothesis is sound! I proved it that day. The experiment was a success! The experiment was proof of all my work! You can hang me, but at least give me the research grant, please! That's something you would say. Say something here. My capacity as a fellow of the Royal Society. Yes, juror number 4? Go ahead. As a man of science, one thing I simply cannot abide. That's a fraud who pretends to be a fellow man of science. What? Wait, great Scott! You said his name, Scott? Are you suggesting my science is suspect? It's been disproved, hasn't it? Friend of all of us. In other words, the whole demonstration was complete nonsense from start to finish. Believe me, my fellow juror. I tell you this man is a heel, a bounder, and a fraud! The wreckage of that machine can be stripped down and thoroughly examined. No! Never! That machine is the essence of my entire hypothesis! Protected by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act! What the devil is that blessed act all about, eh? Who made such a daft rule? I don't like the way this seems to be going. What's the best way for me to help the professor? Raise an objection? Okay, I thought I saw in game FAQs as the second statement though, but it's always raise an objection, isn't it? Yeah, okay, it's the first option. Okay, yeah.
Objection.
Professor Hairbrain has yet to perfect his invention. That seemed to be the case, yes. Even so what? Going to such trouble and expense to create a fake machine to display in public? You would have absolutely no reason to do such a thing.
Objection.
Yet an obvious reason to do exactly that. For the research grant money. Ah! The government was foolish enough to deem the man's ridiculous notion plausible. He and his conspirators would have received a handsome sum indeed. Conspirators? What would be the value of such a grant? 10 pounds? You're an order of magnitude out, madam. 500 pounds a year. Oh! They can advance him on that much for years. Society's notice was increased in bogus public demonstrations in the field of science recently. Plenty of scientists arguing with each other to get the largest slice of the funding cake. People's greed is plenty motive enough for murder, I assure you. No, no, no! I haven't deceived anyone, least of all the government. My hypothesis is sound. The science is sound. Please, you must believe me.
Objection.
No matter how unbelievable this hypothesis may seem to you, ladies and gentlemen, the fact remains that the victim was transported instantly to the Crystal Tower. Which means that the experiment is a success. Oh, Barrick! Franzix is such a bro. I'll hang you, but I'll get you the money. And therefore, the only person who could have possibly committed this murder is the accused. Ah, Barrick. I had a feeling it was going to be that. Where is this heading? I have no idea. My lord, if I may. Yes, Lord Franzix. The prosecution would like to summon new witnesses to the stand. Ooh. New witnesses? What would be the nature of the involvement? There are spectators of the demonstration of the exhibition who are occupying special seats. Gina, maybe? Eyewitnesses? Very well. The court grants the prosecution's request. Very like much to hear the eyewitnesses of the incident. Prosecution's stance is clear. This experiment was no pastiche. What? The accused had killed the financier victim there on the public stage before the very eyes of the spectators. Now, my learned friend. Oh, yes? It's time for you to make your own stance clear. It's clearly a flaw in the professor's hypothesis. I can clearly see that. Where does that leave me? Shall take a short recess now, during which time the prosecution will prepare its new witnesses to take the stand. As you wish, my lord. Good. In that case, court is adjourned for 20 minutes. Okay. How long is that video? 45 minutes, not bad. Okay. To the surprise of everyone ever, there wasn't a, what's it called? A summation examination right in the beginning. It's never been done before in the history of the Great Ace Attorney. Go back up to part 1. Okay. I'll see you guys next time for some more Great Ace Attorney. Bye.